The sky over Corin 5 burned with red and orange light. Smoke rose from the broken cities and the air was thick with dust. Human soldiers moved carefully through the ruins, their armor scratched and scorched from the endless battles. Among them, Rian's boots crunched over broken metal and stone. His heart beat fast, but his mind was calm. He had a duty, and nothing would stop him. Princess Mara of Lithara rode a hovercar above the battlefield, her eyes wide with fear and determination. She was young but brave. Her people had trusted humans to protect her, and she needed them now. The alien forces of Corin 5 had been attacking villages and towns for months, but the humans were the first to fight back with real hope. Ryan paused on a broken ridge. The wind carried a faint hum of alien energy weapons charging. He signaled to his squad. "Hold positions," he said quietly. "Wait for my mark," his team nodded. Each soldier trusted him, not just because he was skilled, but because he never hesitated to protect them. The alien forces appeared in the distance, their shapes tall and thin with dark armor that seemed to absorb light. They moved silently, but their energy rifles glowed in the dim sunlight. Ryan's hands tightened around his weapon. He glanced at the sky. Princess Mara was above, observing the battlefield, protected by a small shield of energy. But he knew she was still vulnerable. If the aliens broke through, she would be their target. Suddenly, a group of aliens sprinted toward the ridge. They moved faster than any human could, their weapons ready. Ryan raised his rifle. "Now!" he shouted. The humans fired together. Bright beams of energy cut through the air, hitting some aliens and forcing others to duck behind rocks. Ryan aimed carefully, his training guiding him. A few aliens fell, but more were coming. The ridge shook as explosions hit the ground. Ryan saw an alien leader appearing at the edge of the battle, moving directly toward Princess Mara. His heart sank. The princess had no chance if it reached her. Without thinking, he ran forward, ignoring his own safety. A bright energy blast shot toward Mara. Rian jumped in front of her just in time. The blast hit his armor, burning through the metal and cutting into his side. Pain exploded in his body, but he held his ground. Mara screamed, her hands flying to her mouth. Ryan gritted his teeth and pushed the princess behind a rock. He fired his rifle, aiming carefully despite the pain. One alien fell, but the leader kept moving. He ducked and rolled, using the terrain to stay in cover. Every second felt like a lifetime. Finally, with a precise shot, Ryan struck the alien leader in its chest. It fell, twitching, and the remaining enemies hesitated. Human soldiers pressed forward, taking advantage of the pause. The aliens began to retreat, their weapons flickering as they vanished into the distance. Ryan collapsed to his knees, blood seeping through his armor. His vision blurred, but he smiled faintly as he saw Princess Mara safe. She ran to him, kneeling beside him. Her hands trembled as she pressed them to his wound, using a portable med patch. "Ryan, are you hurt badly?" she asked, worry in her voice. I will be fine," he said, though his voice was weak. "You are safe. That is what matters." Mara looked at him with admiration. "You saved me. I don't know how to thank you." Ryan shook his head. "You don't need to. Just live and help your people. That is enough." The squad arrived, carrying the injured Rian toward the med bay. Soldiers whispered to each other, calling him a hero. Rian felt embarrassed by the attention, but deep inside he knew he had done what anyone should have done. As the med bay doors closed, Mara stood outside for a moment. Her mind raced with questions about humans. They were strong, clever, and brave in ways she had never seen. She wondered if other humans could do even greater things, and if they could truly be allies to her people. Queen Selena, watching from a distant platform, observed Ryan's actions carefully. The human who had risked everything for her daughter had caught her attention. She was a wise and cautious ruler. Her eyes narrowed as she studied him. This human was not ordinary. Perhaps he was the kind of being who could change the balance of power in the galaxy. For now, Ryan rested in the med bay, unaware of the long journey ahead. He had bled for the princess, and the first seeds of admiration and curiosity had been planted. In that moment, he did not know that his life would soon be intertwined with the fate of a planet and the decisions of a queen who watched from above. The battle was over, but a greater story was just beginning. Ryan lay on a soft med bed, the cool white light of the med bay reflecting off his armor. The wound in his side was slowly closing thanks to advanced Letheran healing technology, but the pain still throbbed with every breath. He tried to sit up, but a gentle hand pressed him back down. "You must rest," said Draylen, the Letheran medic. Her calm voice carried authority, but also kindness. "Your body needs time. You cannot fight while injured." Ryan nodded. "I understand," he said, though frustration prickled at his chest. He was used to action, not waiting. Being still felt strange and weak. The door slid open and a small figure entered. Princess Mara moved quietly, her long hair flowing behind her. She carried a small data pad with notes and sketches, looking unusually serious. "Ryan," she said softly, "I wanted to see how you are." He smiled faintly. "Better now. Thanks to your people's machines." Mara knelt beside him. "You risked yourself for me." "I've never seen anyone so brave," Ryan shook his head. "I did what any human would do. You were in danger. That is all that matters." Mara studied his face, curious. "You are not like the other humans I have seen." "You think differently." "You act differently. Your courage. It is not just skill. It is something more," Ryan blinked. He had never thought of himself as different. "I just do what I must. That is all." Mara hesitated, then asked, "Do you think humans can be trusted with great responsibilities? With leadership?" Ryan thought carefully. "I believe humans can achieve great things, but we must be given a chance to show it. Sometimes people judge too quickly, and that can hold back potential." Mara nodded slowly. "I see. Your honesty is rare here." While they spoke, Queen Selena observed from a platform above the medbay. Her eyes were sharp and her face calm, but inside she was calculating. The human who had saved her daughter had done so without hesitation. He bled for Mara, yet he did not demand reward. That was unusual. Most beings, even humans, expected praise or power after acts of bravery. The queen turned to her advisor, Selenor. "Watch him closely," she said. "This human, he may be the key to our future. There is something about him that I cannot ignore." Selenor nodded. "He is brave, Your Majesty, but he is human. That is also dangerous. He may act unpredictably." "Perhaps," said Selena. "But humans also have qualities our kind rarely show. Courage, loyalty, ingenuity. This one has them all. Keep your eyes open." Meanwhile, in the medbay, Ryan and Mara continued talking. She was curious about human culture, their ways of thinking, and how they solved problems in battle. He explained in simple words, not showing off, but sharing what he knew. Mara listened intently, her admiration growing. Suddenly, the medbay doors opened again. 2 Letheran soldiers brought in another human who had been wounded during the battle. He groaned in pain as medics attended him. Rian looked at the man and felt a pang of concern. He had friends among the soldiers and their lives mattered. "Will they be okay?" Mara asked, looking worried. "They will recover," Rian said. "They are strong." "Humans are resilient," Mara smiled faintly. "You seem to see the good in everyone." "That is rare." Hours passed and Ryan rested while Mara remained nearby. Occasionally, she left to report to her mother or check on the injured soldiers. Each time she returned, she brought new observations, questions, or small gifts from her people. It was her way of expressing gratitude. Rian noticed how carefully she moved, how thoughtfully she spoke, and how much she cared for others. It was clear why her people trusted her. Yet he also saw the weight on her shoulders, the responsibility of a princess, knowing that her choices could affect entire worlds. Late in the day, Queen Selena called Mara to the observation platform. Ryan remained on the medbed, unaware of what was happening above. "Your daughter speaks highly of this human," Selena said, her voice calm but commanding. "He is brave, clever, and loyal. But bravery alone is not enough. I need to understand his character, his mind, and his potential." Mara nodded. "He saved my life, Mother. I trust him." Selena studied the human below. "Trust is not enough. I must decide if he is worthy of being close to you and our people. Humans are strong, but they are unpredictable. That is why I will observe him carefully. You may be surprised by the choices he makes in the days to come." Mara left, leaving Selena to her thoughts. The Queen's interest in Ryan was not simple curiosity. She saw in him qualities that could change the future of Lethara, and perhaps the galaxy. Back in the medbay, Ryan's eyes slowly closed as he drifted into a light sleep. The pain in his side dulled, and for the first time that day he felt safe. Outside the window, the sky over Corin 5 was beginning to fade from red to a muted gray. The battle had ended, but the story of trust, courage, and the potential of humanity was only beginning. Ryan had survived the battle, but soon he would face tests of honor, loyalty, and wisdom. Trials that would challenge not just his strength, but the very essence of what it meant to be human. Days passed on Lothara, and Ryan's wound healed quickly thanks to the advanced medical systems. He had regained his strength, but he could feel that life at the royal court would not be simple. Princess Mara watched over him with care, but Queen Selena's quiet observation weighed heavily in the background. One morning, Ryan was summoned to the royal courtyard. The sun cast golden light over the marble floors, and the air smelled of flowers from distant gardens. Soldiers and nobles had gathered, and in the center, Queen Selena sat with a composed expression. "Ryan of Earth," the queen began, her voice calm yet firm. "You have shown bravery on the battlefield, but bravery alone does not define a protector. You must prove your honor, intelligence, and judgment if you are to serve my daughter and our people." Ryan bowed. "I will do my best, Your Majesty." The queen gestured, and attendants brought forward 3 challenges. The first was a test of strength and endurance. Ryan was led to a wide arena filled with obstacles. Tall walls, swinging platforms, and uneven terrain blocked the path to the flag at the center. Several Letharan warriors had already failed to reach it, slipping or losing balance. Ryan's human training guided him. He ran, climbed, and jumped with careful focus. When a platform swung toward him, he timed his leap perfectly. When a wall seemed too high, he used momentum to scale it. Each obstacle required not just strength, but thought, and Ryan's human ingenuity allowed him to succeed. When he reached the flag, the crowd cheered, impressed by the simple but clever ways he overcame the obstacles. Next came a test of wisdom and judgment. Queen Selena presented a complex puzzle, a holographic map of a Letharan city under threat from invading forces. Ryan had to find a solution that protected the civilians while minimizing risk to the defenders. He studied the map carefully. His mind worked quickly, considering angles, timing, and possible mistakes. Slowly, he moved pieces of the hologram, creating barriers and escape routes, positioning defenders strategically. When he finished, the queen examined his plan. "You have considered both strategy and compassion," she said. "Few here can do so with such clarity. Humans may think differently, but sometimes that difference is exactly what is needed." The final challenge was one of character. A group of young Letharan children was brought to the courtyard. They were actors pretending to be in danger, testing whether Ryan would act for personal glory or to protect others. A small fire broke out as part of the test, and the children cried for help. Ryan did not hesitate. He rushed to save them, guiding them to safety and calming their fears. He ignored his own comfort, ensuring everyone was safe before considering his next move. The queen observed quietly. The human had passed all 3 tests, showing strength, intelligence, and compassion. She nodded slightly. Her mind already began to imagine how he could serve her people in the future. Princess Mara approached Ryan, her eyes shining with admiration. "You did it," she said softly. "I knew you could." Ryan shrugged, embarrassed by the praise. "I just did what felt right," he said. "It is not for glory. It is for the people." Mara smiled. "That is why you are different. That is why my mother is watching you so closely." Even as they spoke, whispers circulated among the nobles. Some were impressed, others skeptical. A human excelling in these trials challenged old beliefs about humans. Many had expected him to fail, yet here he stood, quietly remarkable. Queen Selena rose, her robe flowing behind her. "You have shown your worth," she said. "But remember, trials do not end with skill alone. You will face political challenges, threats from outside, and questions of loyalty. How you respond will define your place among us." Ryan nodded, understanding the weight of her words. He had fought battles before, but court politics was a new kind of battlefield, one where courage alone would not always be enough. That evening, as Ryan walked through the palace gardens, Princess Mara joined him. The sky was a soft purple, and the air was cool with the scent of blooming flowers. "You were amazing today," she said quietly. "I hope you know how much we trust you." Ryan looked at her, feeling a strange mix of pride and humility. "I do what I must. Trust is earned, not given. I will not fail you or your people." Mara smiled faintly, sensing the depth of his promise. She had seen humans in battle, but Ryan's strength went beyond physical skill. His mind, his heart, and his sense of duty were rare even among her people. As the night settled over the palace, Queen Selena watched from her private chambers. The human had passed trials of body, mind, and heart, She allowed herself a small, thoughtful smile. Perhaps this human could become more than a soldier. Perhaps he could be a partner in shaping the future. Rian rested that night, unaware of the full attention he had drawn. His journey was far from over. The trials had proven his worth, but new challenges awaited. Challenges that would test not only his bravery and skill, but the very essence of what it meant to be human among alien worlds. For the first time, he sensed that his actions might change not only his own fate, but the destiny of Lithara itself. The calm over Lithara lasted only a few days. As Ryan trained with the Royal Guard, a new warning reached the palace. A fleet of alien warships, unknown and fast, had been detected moving toward Lithara. Their intentions were unclear, but reports indicated they might attempt a kidnapping of Princess Mara to gain control over the planet. Rian's instincts immediately went on alert. "They are fast," he told Captain Saren, the head of the Letharan defense. "If they reach the palace, they will strike at the princess first. We need a plan before they arrive." Saren nodded, but worry clouded his face. "We have defense shields and drones, but this fleet is unlike anything we have faced. Your suggestions, human, will be considered carefully." Ryan studied the maps of Lethera projected in the command room. He pointed to several narrow passages through the mountains that the warships would have to pass. "We can use the terrain to our advantage. If we create traps along these passages and guide them toward weaker shields, we can minimize casualties and slow their approach." Saren and the other officers exchanged glances. "It is unconventional," Saren said, "but it may work." Meanwhile, Princess Mara paced nervously in the observation chamber. She had grown to trust Rian's judgment and felt uneasy leaving the planning to the others alone. She approached him. "Ryan, I need your advice," she said quietly. Ryan looked at her. "Do not worry, Princess. I will do everything I can to protect you, but I need your help to keep your people calm and ready. Panic will make our defenses weaker." Mara nodded. "I will do what I can. Tell me what you need." Ryan outlined a plan. They would divide the palace guards into small, fast-moving units that could act as decoys, drawing the enemy ships into narrow channels. The main defensive force would wait in concealed positions. Mara listened intently, absorbing every detail. Hours later, the first warships appeared in the sky. They were massive, black and silent, moving like shadows across the horizon. Citizens of Lithara looked up in fear, but Rian remained calm. He had planned for this. "Begin the maneuver," he ordered. The decoy units moved swiftly, drawing the enemy toward the prepared channels. The warships fired energy beams, but most of them missed, blocked by narrow rock formations and cleverly placed shield generators. Rian moved with purpose, coordinating between units with quick commands. When one of the warships attempted a sudden turn to strike the palace, he predicted the move and directed a countermeasure, a trap of energy nets that immobilized the ship. It crashed into the mountains with a deafening explosion. Princess Mara watched from above, her heart racing. She had seen humans fight in close combat, but Ryan's mind worked like a strategist, seeing paths and moves before anyone else. She whispered to herself, "He is extraordinary." The battle continued for hours. Ryan's strategy allowed Lithara to hold the line, causing the invading fleet to retreat. Their energy was depleted and they could not risk further losses. After the last ship fled, the palace erupted in cheers. Citizens and guards alike hailed Ryan as a hero. Despite the pain in his side from his old wound, he smiled faintly, acknowledging the gratitude but remaining focused on the next steps. Queen Selena observed the victory from her chamber, her expression thoughtful. The human had not only saved her daughter, but also proved his ability to think and act under pressure. She could see the respect he had earned from the soldiers and the people alike. "This human," she murmured to Selenor. "He is unlike any being I have met. Courage and skill are one thing, but intelligence and foresight, that is rare. He may be more than a protector. He could be the key to our survival in ways I cannot yet predict." Selenor nodded, though concern lingered in his eyes. "Yes, Your Majesty. But humans are unpredictable. He may act on his own without considering political consequences." Selena's eyes narrowed. "Perhaps, but unpredictability can be a strength if it is guided properly. I will observe him closely." Later, as Ryan returned to the palace, he found Princess Mara waiting for him in the gardens. The battle had passed, but the tension remained in the air. "You saved everyone," she said softly. "Even the soldiers admire you, and you did it with such calm, even under pressure. I have never seen anyone like you." Rian shook his head. I did what was necessary. Strategy is important, but so is timing and understanding the enemy. I only acted as I thought best. The people, the princess, they deserved protection. Mara studied him. Your mind works differently from everyone else. You see things before they happen. That is rare, Ryan smiled faintly. Humans learn from experience. We adapt. That is how we survive. I only hope it is enough for the challenges ahead. As night fell over the palace, Queen Selena's thoughts returned to the human who had bled for her daughter and now protected her people. She understood that Rian was no ordinary soldier. His actions, courage, and intelligence marked him as someone important. The question was how far she could trust him, and how she would use his abilities to secure Lithara's future. For Ryan, the victory was only the beginning. New challenges would arrive, and he knew he must stay alert, protect Princess Mara, and continue proving that humans were capable of greatness. The palace of Lithara was quiet in the early morning, but tension filled the air. News of the recent victory over the alien warships had spread, and the royal court was buzzing with whispers. Ryan walked through the marble halls, his armor polished but still marked by the signs of battle. He had become known as the human who bled for the princess, and that reputation had reached every corner of the palace. Princess Mara met him in the garden, her expression a mix of relief and concern. Ryan, have you spoken with my mother yet? She asked. Rian shook his head. Not yet. I expect she will call me soon. He paused. I only hope she trusts my actions were enough. Mara smiled faintly. Your actions already speak louder than words. But you will see my mother is wise and cautious. She will make her judgment carefully. Later that day, Rian was summoned to the throne room. Queen Selena sat upon her elevated seat, her posture regal and her eyes calm but sharp. Courtiers and nobles lined the room, observing silently. The air was filled with anticipation. Ryan of Earth, Selena began, her voice steady. Your bravery, intelligence, and loyalty have been observed by many. You saved my daughter's life, and in doing so, you have proven that humans are capable of qualities our people often lack. For this I commend you. Ryan bowed respectfully. Thank you, Your Majesty. I only did what any person should do. The Queen's eyes narrowed slightly, but her tone remained even. Bravery alone is not enough to protect what is precious. Actions must be guided by judgment and loyalty. You have demonstrated both, and for this reason, I declare that you will remain within the royal circle as Princess Mara's protector and advisor. A murmur ran through the court. Nobles exchanged glances, some impressed and others skeptical. Ryan straightened, realizing the weight of the Queen's words. To remain in the royal circle was an honor few outsiders ever received. You do not need to answer immediately, Selena continued. Your loyalty and service will be tested further, and your decisions will reflect not only on yourself but on the humans you represent. Rian nodded slowly. I understand, Your Majesty. I will do my best to serve the princess and your people. Princess Mara stepped forward, her eyes bright. Ryan, I am grateful. I trust you, and I know that my mother's decision will keep everyone safe. You have proven your worth in ways I cannot fully express. Rian shook his head, feeling humility more than pride. I did what was necessary. That is all. I only hope I can continue to protect you and your people. As the court dispersed, Rian remained thoughtful. Being formally claimed by Queen Selena carried both honor and responsibility. He had expected to be a soldier, a protector on the battlefield, but now his role was far more complex. Politics, diplomacy, and the welfare of an entire world would be part of his duties. Later, in the quiet of the palace gardens, Princess Mara and Ryan walked together. The sun dipped low, casting long shadows over the marble paths. You have changed everything already, Mara said softly. Your courage and intelligence inspire not only me, but everyone who has seen you in action. Do you know how rare that is? Ryan shook his head. I do not think of myself that way. I act because I must. If people are inspired by it, then I am glad. But I cannot allow pride to cloud judgment. There will be challenges ahead that require clear thinking, not admiration. Mara nodded. I understand. But know that your actions have earned trust and respect. Even my mother watches you closely, not only as a protector, but as someone who may help shape the future of Lithara. Ryan's gaze turned to the horizon. The alien threat had been pushed back, but he knew it would not be gone forever. Every victory brought new dangers, and the decisions he made could affect countless lives. Yet he also felt a quiet strength. Humans had endured far worse, and he carried that resilience within him. The next days were filled with adjustment. Ryan began attending court meetings, learning about Letheran politics, law, and social customs. He observed how the nobles argued and strategized, and he realized that diplomacy required as much skill as the battlefield. Yet he adapted quickly, offering insights and suggestions that often surprised those who had doubted him. Queen Selena continued her quiet observation. She tested Ryan in small ways, sending minor challenges and observing his decisions. Each time he demonstrated patience, foresight, and fairness. The queen's respect grew, though she remained cautious. Humans were capable but unpredictable. That unpredictability was both a potential risk and a strength. One evening, Ryan found himself walking the palace corridors alone. He paused outside the princess's chamber and heard her voice, soft and thoughtful. She was speaking with her mother about him. "He is different," Mara said. "Not only brave but wise and honest. He does not seek power for himself. He acts for the people." Selena replied calmly, "Humans can surprise us. This one has the potential to change much. We must guide him carefully. His decisions will affect not only your safety but the safety of Lethera itself." Ryan stepped away quietly, reflecting on their words. He had entered this world as a soldier, but now he was becoming part of its destiny. The path ahead was uncertain, but he felt ready to face whatever challenges awaited. For Ryan, the Queen's decree was more than an honor. It was a responsibility, a promise, and a test. He had bled for the princess, and now he would prove that humans could stand beside alien leaders not only in battle, but in shaping a future worth protecting. The story of trust, courage, and the strength of humanity continued, and Ryan's journey had only begun. The peace on Lethera lasted only a short time. Scouts reported that another alien fleet was approaching, larger and faster than the last. Panic rippled through the city, but Ryan stood quietly analyzing the reports. He understood the danger better than most because he had studied the enemy's movements. "We cannot face them head-on," Ryan said to Captain Saren and the council. "Their fleet is too large. We must use strategy, terrain, and combined forces. Humans and Letherans together can outsmart them." Saren frowned. "It is risky, human. If we fail, the palace and the princess could be lost." Ryan shook his head. "Failure is not an option. We must act now, but carefully. I will lead a strike team, and we will use the mountains, tunnels, and hidden energy barriers. The enemy does not know our land as we do." Princess Mara joined the discussion, her eyes serious. "I trust you, Ryan. You have proven yourself before. What is the plan?" Ryan pointed to a holographic map of Lethera. "We divide our forces. The decoys will draw the fleet into narrow passages. Our main fleet waits hidden in the tunnels, ready to strike. We will trap them where their numbers give them no advantage. Timing is critical." The council hesitated, then Queen Selena entered the room. Her presence silenced the others. "I have watched you, Ryan," she said. "Your plans are bold, but I see your mind. Humans think differently, and that difference may save us. You have my permission to act." Ryan nodded respectfully. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I will not fail." The battle began at dawn. Alien ships appeared on the horizon, black against the pale sky. The decoy units moved quickly, drawing the enemy into the narrow mountain passes. Energy beams fired wildly, but the decoys managed to avoid major damage. Ryan moved with calm precision, coordinating human and Letheran forces. He guided ships into hidden traps using energy nets, tunnels, and shield bursts to confuse the enemy. When one alien ship attempted to turn and attack the palace, Ryan predicted its move and redirected a small squad to intercept. The enemy ship crashed into the mountains, immobilized. Princess Mara watched from a hovering observation platform. She saw Ryan giving orders calmly, even when danger approached. His mind worked faster than anyone she had ever known, finding solutions when none seemed obvious. She whispered, "Humans are extraordinary, but Ryan, he is something more." The alien fleet struggled in the confined passages. Ryan had designed the traps perfectly. Ships collided, energy weapons jammed, and several fell into hidden canyons. Human and Letheran forces worked together seamlessly, following his lead. Hours passed, and the alien fleet began to retreat. Their losses were heavy and their formation broken. Ryan ensured the palace was safe before allowing the final strikes to end the battle. When the last ship fled, the city erupted in cheers. Citizens and soldiers alike celebrated the human who had led them to victory. Despite the pain from his old wound, Ryan stood tall, acknowledging the gratitude without pride. Queen Selena observed from her chamber. She allowed herself a small smile. The human had done more than fight bravely. He had demonstrated intelligence, leadership, and the ability to unite two species. His actions had proven that humans could achieve greatness not only on the battlefield, but in strategy and leadership. Later, Ryan returned to the palace gardens. Princess Mara waited for him, her eyes full of admiration. "You saved everyone again," she said softly. "Even the soldiers and my people trust you completely. I cannot imagine how you think so clearly under pressure." Ryan shook his head. "I only observe and act. Humans learn from experience, and we adapt quickly. That is how we survive. Strategy is simple if you stay calm and see the patterns. I only hope it is enough to keep everyone safe." Mara studied him. "It is more than enough. Your courage and mind inspire everyone around you. Even my mother watches you closely. Not just for protection, but for guidance. You have changed how humans are seen on Lothara." Ryan looked to the horizon. He knew the victory was important, but he also understood that threats would continue to come. The galaxy was full of dangers, and only those who adapted and worked together could survive. That night, the palace celebrated. Ryan remained quietly in the background, observing and helping organize efforts to rebuild defenses. Citizens came to thank him, and soldiers respected him not only as a warrior but as a leader. Queen Selena sent a private message to Ryan. "You have done more than expected. You have shown humans are capable of extraordinary things. Your loyalty, intelligence, and bravery are noted. Continue to prove yourself, and the future of Lothara may be shaped by your actions." Ryan read her words carefully. The honor was immense, but he understood that his journey was far from over. He had bled for the princess, led her people through danger, and earned respect, but each success brought new responsibilities. As he rested that night, he felt a quiet resolve. Humans were strong, adaptable, and capable of great things. On this alien world, Ryan had shown what humans could do when courage and intelligence were combined. The battles were not over, but he was ready for whatever came next. The story of bravery, strategy, and the strength of humanity continued. Ryan had proven that humans could be more than allies. They could lead, inspire, and change the future. The city of Lothara was quiet in the early morning, but a sense of pride filled the air. The citizens had seen their planet protected from countless threats, and the name of Ryan, the human who bled for Princess Mara, was spoken with respect and admiration. Ryan walked through the palace gardens, his armor polished but marked with the faint scars of past battles. Despite his accomplishments, he remained humble. His thoughts were focused on the people, the princess, and the responsibilities now entrusted to him. Princess Mara approached him with a smile. "Ryan," she said softly, "the people speak of your bravery and wisdom. Even my mother acknowledges your courage and loyalty. You have become more than a protector. You are part of our family." Ryan shook his head, feeling the weight of her words. "I only do what is right. I do not seek praise or reward. I only wish to keep you and your people safe." Mara studied him carefully. "That is why you are trusted. That is why my mother claims you within the royal circle. You are honest, brave, and clever. Those qualities are rare, and they matter more than any title." Later that day, Queen Selena called Ryan to the observation platform. The sun reflected off the palace spires, casting golden light across the city. Courtiers and nobles gathered to witness the moment. "Ryan of Earth," the queen began, her voice steady and commanding, "you have proven yourself time and again. You have saved my daughter, defended our people, and shown wisdom in ways few could imagine. Today, I formally recognize you as part of the royal circle. Your actions have earned the trust and honor of Lothara." Ryan bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I will continue to serve with loyalty and dedication." The queen studied him carefully. "Humans are capable of courage, intelligence, and compassion. You have shown all these qualities. Your presence here proves that alliances between species can succeed when guided by honor and trust. I believe your example will inspire both humans and Lotharans to work together for a stronger future." Ryan nodded, understanding the depth of her words. He had started as a soldier, a human among aliens, but now he was recognized as a leader and protector. His journey had begun with a single act of bravery, shielding the princess from harm, and it had grown into something far greater. Princess Mara stepped beside him, her eyes bright with pride. "You have earned your place here, Ryan. Not because of your strength alone, but because of your mind, your heart, and your loyalty. You are a true example of what humans can achieve." Ryan felt a quiet warmth at her words. He had not sought recognition, but he understood now that his actions could make a lasting difference. He had proven that humans could stand not only as allies but as equals, capable of shaping the future alongside alien civilizations. The court erupted in applause, but Ryan remained composed. His mind was already thinking ahead, how to protect Lithara, how to guide the younger soldiers, and how to ensure the peace they had fought so hard to achieve would last. That evening, Ryan walked with Princess Mara through the palace gardens. The air was cool and the stars reflected in the fountains around them. "You have done more than I ever expected," Mara said. "Not only in battle, but in how you inspire others. Humans have a strength that is different from ours, and you have shown it in every way." Ryan looked at the night sky. "Humans survive by learning, adapting, and protecting what matters most. I only hope I can continue to do that here, for you and your people." Mara smiled. "You already have. Your courage and wisdom have changed how we see humans. You are a bridge between our worlds, showing that we can work together and grow stronger." Queen Selena watched from her chambers, her expression thoughtful but calm. Ryan had surpassed every expectation. He had bled for her daughter, survived battles, and shown ingenuity and loyalty beyond measure. She understood now that humans were not only allies but could become trusted partners in shaping the future of the galaxy. The next morning, Ryan led the training exercises for both humans and Letharans, teaching strategy, teamwork, and problem-solving. Young soldiers looked to him with respect, inspired by his example. He shared his knowledge freely, showing that strength combined with wisdom could accomplish far more than raw power alone. As he watched the trainees, Ryan reflected on his journey. He had started as one human among many, facing alien threats and challenges. Now he stood as a symbol of courage, honor, and human potential. The bond between humans and Letharans had grown stronger because of his actions, and the galaxy would be safer for it. Princess Mara approached him one last time that day. "Thank you, Ryan, not just for saving me, but for showing what humans can do. You have earned your place, and you have earned our respect." Ryan nodded, feeling both pride and humility. "I only did what anyone should do, but I am glad it has made a difference." The sun set over Lithara, painting the sky in gold and red. The battles had ended, the city was safe, and a new era had begun. Ryan had proven that humans could be brave, clever, and loyal. He had earned honor, recognition, and a place among the people he had fought to protect. The story of courage, trust, and the strength of humanity came to a close for now, but the legacy of Ryan and his actions would inspire generations to come.